Welcome to Frisco Files Live, the show that shines a spotlight on Frisco, its people, and the issues that matter most. Each episode we break down city council decisions, highlight upcoming community events, and bring you conversations that keep you informed and connected. The opinions and views expressed on this show are not necessarily the expressed or written views of the hosts or our sponsors, the Community Difference brand, or any affiliated partners. Welcome to the Frisco Files Live, moving Frisco forward. And powered by the Community Difference. The Frisco Files Live is hosted by Brian Poduska and in collaboration with John Clay C., Shane T. Gilmore, Karen Cunningham, Tracy Shipman, Lisa Kirby, Dan Parrell, and Ashley Miller. The Frisco Files Live starts now.
Well, good afternoon, Frisco. My name is Brian Poduska. I am a real estate business owner right here in Frisco, Texas, and host of a podcast called The Community Difference Collin County. However, today, I am super excited to help launch this brand new podcast called Citizens Voices, brought to you by Frisco Files, powered by The Community Difference. If you've seen my other podcast, The Community Difference Collin County, well, this is similar, but different. So some of the similarities I'll go through real quick. We're going to spotlight the big and maybe not so big things that are relevant to you and our community right here in Frisco. So that is a difference. We are focusing on Frisco on this show versus Collin County on the other. We have rotating co-hosts, which is similar to the other. All of our co-hosts are very active, very passionate about the city of Frisco, Texas. So that's a little bit different as well. Another similarity, we are live. So what you just heard, what you see is what you get, right? There's nothing curated, which means what you're going to hear is an authentic conversation. Along the way, we're going to provide as much fact as possible for educational purposes, and we'll sprinkle in a little bit of opinion shared from the group. So with that statement, I'm going to have to read the official legal disclaimer. You heard something similar in the intro, but the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests on this podcast are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of any organizations, employers, or affiliates. All content is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be taken as professional advice. All right, so those are just some of the similarities between the two. As for the differences, well, stick around, keep watching, and you're going to find out. So with that brief summary, I would like to set the stage of the podcast and share the mission statement of the group. And then I'm going to bring in our co-host, and that's when all the fun begins. You'll get sick of hearing from me. So mission statement, Citizen Voices is a grassroots podcast dedicated to informing, empowering, and amplifying the voices of everyday residents. We dive into local government, hot topics, and community issues with clarity and purpose. We are putting citizens at the center of the conversation. Our mission is to foster transparency, spark civic engagement, and celebrate the diverse perspectives that shape Frisco's future. So that's what we're going to be diving into over the course of the next year or so, and maybe longer. As we know, Frisco is a growing and changing city, seems like by the week or by the day. So with that, I mentioned we have rotating co-hosts. I am going to start bringing in those co-hosts onto the screen, and we're going to start this bad boy. So as we do traditionally, we're going to go ladies first, and we're going to go alphabetical order by last name with those ladies. So she may have once rocked two different colored shoes to work, but Karen Cunningham has never walked away from being her authentic self. A longtime Frisco resident who can still recite the Operation Game jingle from the 1970s, Karen lives by the motto, work with purpose, serve with joy, live with heart. Love that. That makes her the perfect co-host as we explore everything that matters most to life and community right here in Frisco, Texas. Let's say hello to Karen.
Hello.
Hi, Karen. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. So, when you can recite the Operation Game jingle from the 70s as in your intro, you're going to have to do that.
Yeah. As you were saying that, I thought, I think I'm going to get called out for this one. So, all right. Well, are you ready?
Go for it. Let's go.
It's Operation, the Wacky Doctor's Game. Here's your card. Batteries not included. Take out his spares for $100. Oh, you'll never do that. Don't touch the sides. Here goes his funny bone. It takes a very steady hand. Can I play? Or I did it. I'm sorry. I missed a part. I did it. Can I play? Operation, Bradley Game. It's been a while since I've recited it, so I was a little bit rusty.
That is impressive. It's amazing the things that stick in our head from our childhood, and I love that. That is awesome. So you are so I've been doing this, side gig of podcast hosting for, I don't know, 6 years now, something like that. And you are now the second person to do live and online, singing. So congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Love it. Well, so we'll come back and we're going to go a little bit deeper into, the whole thing and why you're involved. So, Karen, stick around, stay on screen here, and we will circle back with you shortly. But next, I want to introduce our next co-host. She may have once mistaken a glass door at the Frisco Library for an open invitation, but Lisa Kirby is always ready to laugh at herself and keep moving forward. A proud Frisco resident with a love for dancing and Star Trek wisdom from Jean-Luc Picard. Lisa knows that change is constant, especially in a fast-growing city like ours. That's exactly why she's the perfect co-host as we dive into all the things that matter most in Frisco. Let's say hi to Lisa Kirby.
Hey, everyone. How you doing? Good to see everyone.
Good to see you, Lisa. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
My first podcast ever.
Well, welcome to the world of podcasting. Great to have you, and great to see this thing come to fruition, right? So, you approached me probably 3-4 months ago after a city council meeting and just proposed the idea, and we've rallied some folks around it who are all like-minded in that they care and they're passionate about the city, which perfectly describes yourself. So thank you for herding all these cats, as we say, right?
Definitely.
Small task with as busy as everyone is. So I love the effort. I love what you're doing. What I didn't know is that you're a Trekkie.
Yeah, I love Star Trek. I think I've watched all the shows. So
okay,
yeah.
I'm more of a Star Wars guy. Yeah,
my dad and I used to watch them together.
So I have a hard time speaking the Trek language just because I'm more of a Star Wars guy, but I can appreciate it. Love it, and thanks for sharing that about you. All right, so same thing. We're going to come back and we'll dive a little bit deeper into what makes Lisa tick, but let's introduce the gentleman that will be on the show today. And the first one is, he might have shown up to a physical wearing a cape, but that just proves that John Clacy knows how to bring personality into any room. A proud Frisco resident who dreams of spinning tracks as a DJ and would happily grab dinner with Doc Brown, John lives by the motto, if it wasn't this, it would be something else. That mix of humor, perspective, and community pride makes him the perfect co-host as we dig into all things that matter most in Frisco. Let's say hi to John.
Hey, Brian and everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on, man. Good to see you.
You too.
How you doing today?
Doing okay.
Yeah.
Glad to be with you guys.
Well, glad to have you, and appreciate you joining on today. I know it's hard to carve this out of the busy schedule, but it's for a great purpose and a great mission. I got to ask, what's up with the cape at the doctor?
I tell you what, you asked those questions, and I wanted to put something authentic, and that one's a real one. But the shortest version of the story I can tell you is, if a doctor hands you what you think is a hospital gown, but it has no sleeves, don't wear it as a cape. Put it around your waist.
All right. I got a good visual now. Thank you. I wasn't quite sure how that was going to go, but we may have to end the show on that note. But
yeah.
All right. Well, good. That's a good learning lesson right there. And I'm sure the doctor appreciates that as well. All right. Last but not least, let's bring in our final co-host for the day. He can sew, write his name upside down and backwards, and yes, he's even seen the mysterious inside of a red box machine. From hilarious college mishaps involving nudity to a life motto centered on faith, leadership, and blessing others, Shane Gilmore brings both heart and humor to the table. That's exactly the kind of perspective we need as we dive into all the things important right here in Frisco, Texas. Let's say hello to Shane Gilmore. Hey, Shane, you're on mute, my friend. Just a fair warning. There we go.
Based on his questions, I might have to go back on mute, or at least claim I was.
Yeah, well, and I kind of surprised you guys because I told you these would be used for the intro. What I didn't tell you is that you'd have to either perform or go deeper into some of these stories. So you're not off the hook being last, my friend. So tell us about how the heck you got in a Redbox machine and how you ended up naked running through a college dorm.
You know, I'm a convenience store junkie, so I will always stop at a good convenience store to buy a drink or a snack or a candy bar. And just this day, I stopped at a 7-Eleven, and Redbox machines are right outside 7-Elevens. And I pulled up, and sure enough, there was somebody servicing it. And it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, I always use these, but I've never seen how they operate. And so it was just fantastic to get out and talk to the gentleman about how he loads them and just see the process inside of it. Pretty spectacular. It amazed my kids because we would always do Redbox for family night.
Love it. Well, for some of our younger viewers, they may not know what a Redbox machine is because, you know, I haven't seen one in several years. And
very true.
I'll date myself. I mean, Blockbuster was the place to be. Then it became Redbox, and now it's you don't even have to leave your couch. It's amazing.
I've done both, all three, as a matter of fact.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure having you on the show today. It's a pleasure having you as part of this whole. I'll call it a movement, right? Because what we're embarking on here is really it's educational. It's trying to generate involvement in the community and really generate people to get out there, learn about things, and ultimately vote. If it's going to be, and we're not a political show, so I want to get that out up front. But we want people to get involved in the community to the point where they're motivated enough to go out and dictate their own leadership by casting that vote. So with that, I told you guys I was going to come back around and just kind of circle back and ask you a little bit more about, how long you've lived in Frisco, what's driven you to and what's inspired you to be part of this thing that we're doing here. Maybe a little bit of background on how you've been involved in Frisco, whether it's on boards and the school system, that sort of thing. So with that, we'll go in the same order as to which we came in. So Karen, let's start with you, if you wouldn't mind just sharing for a little bit.
All right. So, I, came to Frisco 21 years ago. My husband and I lived in McKinney at the time, and we're planning to start a family and looking for a place to plant our roots. And our realtor showed us some houses in Frisco, and we never looked back. So we landed here 21 years ago, have raised 2 children here now as well through the Frisco ISD school system, and have just had a great time. I guess I just have it in my blood to serve. I've volunteered, most of my life in some form or fashion, either in my professional association or in my community. And so I joined Frisco Women's League 6 months after I moved to Frisco. I think I must have been crazy. I actually found out I was pregnant and joined Frisco Women's League the same exact month, and somehow thought that was a good idea. But 20 years later, I'm still a member of Frisco Women's League. And then over the years, there were just opportunities to serve, and I stepped into different roles with nonprofit organizations. I've served on the Frisco Family Services and Frisco Fast Packs board of directors that spans about 15 years between the two. I've served on the Community Development Corporation for the city of Frisco, the Charter Review Commission twice, Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee for the city. I've served on the Long Range Planning Committee for the district. I served on 2 different PTA boards for the district as well. Booster board, you name it. I do actually work for a living. I actually get paid to do HR consulting work for companies, believe it or not. But service is honestly, it's what fills my cup, and I love being able to serve in our community. I think we have a wonderful community, and there's so many opportunities to give back. And I even think about just how I've met people and the opportunity to, every person that we're on this with today, I met along the way in my service journey. And I honestly couldn't tell you at this point where I actually met everyone the very first time. But over time, we met, we've become friends. We've gotten to know each other better personally. And it's just this great journey in Frisco that I think, a lot of people enjoy doing. I wish more could and would, so that they could, join us in this fun journey of serving our community.
Well, love that, and key word throughout all that is serve, right? And I love that. I love that about you. I love that point about you don't remember where you met folks, because that means you've seen them so many times. And I love that, because those that are active in the community, you're going to see them out there, which is fantastic. So perfect. Thank you for that, Karen. Couple questions before I let you off the hook on your intro. What is your favorite place to eat dinner in Frisco?
Oh gosh. Well, there's a few, there's about 3 or 4 different Mexican restaurants that are on our rotation that we have to hit. Tex-Mex specifically, on the regular. La Hacienda is still one of our faves, and I'll drive for it, where maybe driving for other places isn't as popular for our fam. But Napoli's is also another family favorite. Our kids have grown up going there over the years. But yeah, I mean, there's so many. I love, there's so many restaurants that we enjoy here in Frisco.
Yep, love it. Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Karen. Let's do the same thing with Lisa. If you could just tell us how long you've lived in Frisco, what inspired you to pull this whole thing together. Just a little bit of background on what you've been involved in the city.
All right, great. Well, I've been in Frisco now for 9 years. I was looking back and I thought it was 10, but it's actually 9 years. I decided to kind of really get involved after COVID. Being at home and being sort of isolated, I really wanted to kind of dive into my community, what it was all about, learn the people and learn more about the city itself. So I kind of delved in and doing the City Hall 101. I also did the equivalent of Frisco ISD Insight as well, and decided I also wanted to participate in some boards for the city. So I'm on the Parks and Rec board, and also on the Animal Advisory Committee, and served with Karen on the CPAC committee as well. And 4 years ago, I also joined the Frisco Women's League. So I love the community involvement. I love the volunteering. I love the women that are there, the partnership and the dedication that we have to working and serving in our city. So, it's been really great here. I have a daughter who started here in middle school, and she graduated from high school, and she's currently, at UNT. And my husband and I have been married for about 33 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. So, question for you: what made you move to Frisco? 9 years. What made you move here?
Well, my husband got a new job, so he was looking around for different opportunities, and he had an opportunity to relocate us, and we relocated here. And so then we decided to, the next question is school districts, and we looked at quite a few, and my daughter coming into a new environment, and we actually settled on, and my husband kept coming back to this one particular area in Wakeland High School, so that's where we landed.
Love it. Where'd you relocate from?
I'm actually from Virginia, so born and bred in Virginia. So grew up in a very smaller town, but it's known as University of Virginia, Charlottesville.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. And John, same thing to you. How long you been in Frisco? What inspired you to get involved, and share how you have been involved with the city?
I was born in Dallas, but when I was a teenager, my family moved to St. Louis. My dad was transferred, so I spent my junior high and high school days in Missouri. Went to college in Nashville, and then by that time, my parents had moved back to Texas. And so when I graduated, I came back here. They're over in McKinney. They've been there since '98. But my first introduction to Frisco was at La Hacienda Ranch. My dad, I remember coming back for Thanksgiving break, and he's like, "We're going to take you to this place. It's so cool, and it's out in the middle of nowhere." And I just remember going over there. It was November, so it was already dark. And we come over from McKinney and just had no idea where we were at. But that was my first intro to Frisco. My wife and I got married in 2000. We moved to Frisco in 2000. So we've been here 25 years. I've always had an interest in civics, and man, Frisco has been, I always say, the ultimate sandbox. I mean, you go back to Frisco 25 years ago, and if you just wanted to play in a sandbox, Frisco was it. And always cool new things happening. Everything was new. It could be anything. And for a kid who was interested in that kind of thing, it wasn't long before just wanting to get more involved. So I think the first time I applied for a board with the city was way back in 2006. I served on Parks and Rec then, and then continuously served on a board of some kind with the city from that point until I joined the school board, the Board of Trustees, back in 2014. Did that for 10 years and just rolled off in 2024 last year. So I've spent 12 months now kind of trying to figure out what to do with the extra time I've got on my hands now. And here we are. I'll add, I've got 2 daughters and a wife. My wife and I've been married also since 2000. My girls graduated from Frisco ISD, went K to 12 there. I've got one who's a senior at Liberty. I've got my Liberty red on. We play Lovejoy tonight, and we're going to need all the help we can get. So y'all cheer us on. And then my older one graduated in 23. She's a 3rd-year student at the University of Missouri.
Love it. Awesome. And you said you went to school in Nashville. Did you go to Vanderbilt?
I did. Yeah. It was a great time to be there too.
I was going to say, yeah, a big win last weekend too for you.
Yeah, they've finally been fun to watch.
Yeah, let's turn around there. All right, question for you. I guess another question now. So you've been here for 25 years, and I like you said the same thing when I moved to Frisco. Is everything's so new? Everything's so, for me, I came from the Chicago area, which big city, but it very well developed, so very different here. So what is the biggest change in the 25 years that you've been here? So small to now pretty darn big.
This is kind of wonky, but everything was new and shiny at the time. And, now I think in the evolution of a city, it gets to be more difficult, right? You've still got new and shiny and exciting, but now you've got all the things that are 10, 20 plus years old. Mm-hmm. And the maintenance of those things is an absolute necessity, but it's not the exciting, sexy part of it anymore, right? So the people that are in charge and the people that volunteer their time to serve all of us, that's got to be an increasing focus. And I think that's the biggest part of it that's changed. We're a big city, and we're now starting to be an aging city.
Yeah, good point. Love it. Well, I have a feeling that theme is going to permeate throughout the duration of the show, not necessarily today, but as we go on. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing, John. Shane, same thing to you. How long you been here? What inspired you to get involved in this, and what inspires you to get involved in the city?
Thank you for that question, Brian. I am married for 29 years. I was born in D.C., Washington, D.C., raised in Philly. And in 2004, my wife and I said, hey, let's get out of Washington, D.C. and just move to somewhere south. And we said, perfectly fine. The original consideration was Plano, till we met a really good friend who said, yeah, but Frisco is much better. And I said, perfect, let's go to Frisco. And that's how I got to Frisco. It was a faith move. My wife and I decided to get out of the Washington, D.C. area where I was working at the time. Then we stayed there from 2004 to 2011. And at 2011, I said, hey, you know what? I just feel I'm a big extrovert. I wanted to do more, wanted to be more engaged, wanted to build more community, which I had done with my cul-de-sac. And I decided to start serving on a board. After a conversation with the former Mayor Masso, I attended and graduated from City Hall 101. After that, I was appointed and served on the Social Services and Housing Board for 6 years. After that, I was appointed and served on the Parks and Rec Board for 6 years, which is where I met Lisa. And I can say where I met everybody. In between that, I was appointed to serve as the vice chair for the Charter Review Commission, which is where I met Karen. And so I'm pointing these out. And I've always known John because of his service with the school board. But yeah, I've always known of him, always seen him around. And so then after that, I just, after 2021, 22, 23, something like that, when I finished serving with Frisco, I kind of took it at ease and tried to get more people to the table to get them involved and just begin to educate people on what serving in Frisco and what this great city is about.
Love it. Well, and also I saw the news release that you are a member of the newest Leadership Frisco class. Congratulations to you.
Class 29, what? Best class ever.
You're going to get a little bit of pushback from probably everybody who you say that to.
Right out of the gate, that's high praise.
Good luck making that the case. Good luck, my friend.
Thank you.
You're gonna love it. It's an awesome journey, and that first weekend is a great one. So I look for great things coming from that group.
Thank you.
So, question for you. So you're from DC. What's the biggest? And you probably have a long list, but what's the biggest difference between living in a big, unique city like DC versus living in Frisco?
Probably the people. Washington, D.C. is a big government town, and there's a lot of money and influence in Washington, D.C., just the government politics, and you see it consistently iterating through, weaving through every fabric of Washington, D.C. But when you come to Frisco, Dallas is big. It's booming. Texas is a huge powerhouse state, but it is truly a more personable town, where in D.C. you can go and do business and pursue what you want to pursue. But in Texas, you can do both, but you can also have an excellent relationships with the people you meet and interact with. So the difference is the people. Love it.
Good answer. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap up the intros. We're not going to do this every show. Like I said, this is the launch of the show. This is the first one. I wanted you guys to share with the audience a little bit more, go a little bit deeper on you guys. Going forward, what we're going to do is we're going to have a topic, whether it be something that came out of the city council in previous city councils. If it's a big enough topic, it may span several. We're also going to pick specific topics that you guys want to hear. So I encourage, if you're watching, please like, comment what you want to hear about, because we're open, right? So if you've got an idea that you want to bring to the table, please drop it in the comments. We've got a list of things that we'd like to surface and just make sure that we bring on some guests that are what I'll call city experts or experts on whatever topic we're talking about. Little teaser, we're looking at having George Purefoy on for the next show. So stick around for that. It's a good reason to watch what I'll call the grandfather of Frisco. And he will bring his knowledge and has said he's willing to share it. We just need to make sure we get the calendar right. So with that, we're going to take a short commercial break. We're going to come out of that and we're going to review the items and some of the key highlights that went down in last week's city council. So stick around. We will be right back.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media, LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
All right, welcome back to our Frisco Difference Makers, right? Great to be back here. What I want to do is just, I teased out before we went to commercial break, this segment, which we're going to have as a regular segment on the show going forward, and it's basically going to be a City Hall recap or a City Council recap. For those of you guys who don't know, City Council happens every other Tuesday, basically. There's some exceptions in there throughout the year, but generally every other Tuesday. It's open to the public. You can go, you can listen online, you can watch online, or you can tune in over the phone. So there, I've been to several, I don't know exactly how many, unlike some people in the city who count them and they are in the hundreds. But I have not been to hundreds, but I've been to many of them. And I know all of you on the show have been as well. Hopefully the listeners have attended too. The audience varies, right? It's not always very populated, but would love to see more and more people who get concerned enough to at least go and listen. And but what we're going to do in the segment going forward is just kind of recap some of those main points. We're not going to go through the entire agenda, but we're going to call out some of these things, and then we'll talk about them too as we go through. So with that, I'm going to let Lisa lead this section. So Lisa, the stage is yours.
All right, great, thank you. Well, the one we actually are covering actually happened on September 2nd, so I just want to make sure if anybody wants to look at it, review it. And we're going to kind of look at it from a perspective of how they, just their schedule and how they run the meeting. The first one that I really want to talk about, which is like I think a new program for the city, and this was when they typically they have the Boy Scouts do the Pledge of Allegiance, and this time it was done by the Frisco Fire Explorer program. And it looks like it's a new program. It was started in 2025, and I love the concept of this because it's really designed for our youth, probably in high school, grades 9 through 12, so ages 13 through 19, who have a career and passion possibly being in the fire department or the EMT, or be a dispatcher. So it gives them a firsthand look and understanding of what could be involved in this. Could this be a potential career for them? So it's basically kind of some hands-on training and learning about the Frisco Fire Department. So again, it's training, education. They have to apply, and they also have to pass a background check. And listening to these young people talk about their passions and why they were there and what they were interested, I thought was just a really phenomenal time. I really enjoyed it.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, great opportunity for the kids.
100%.
And I read some of the kids that participated in it. It looks like they're getting an incredible value from the program as well.
Yeah, and when you look at with first responders, we've got issues with recruiting. And so to me, this was just another really, really creative way to create a pipeline for, future workforce in our fire department, and what they were sharing in terms of what their exposure has been. They thought maybe they would be interested in something like this, but now they really know this is a career they want to pursue. But just like all the programs that we're able to offer through, like the career and technical campus that we have, the CTE Center for the school district, this is a great way for our students to really get a true perspective on what it's like everyday life to be a firefighter or someone related within the fire program. So I'm super excited about what this program means for our community.
You hear so much about AI right now, right? I mean, it's overwhelming, all that. But you also are starting to hear more and more people talk about those careers that might be AI proof. And the trades come up over and over again, right? Whether that's, electrical or plumbing or that kind of thing. And first responders certainly fit in there, right? But for these kids to get that exposure in high school to determine whether this is the path they want to go on, like you said, Karen, great. Just another example in addition to the 30 plus that we offer in the local district.
Yeah, it demonstrates some of the great programs that our city does have to offer our youth, and how people can get involved in the community.
100%. Well, and I'll share a little tidbit about myself. One of my favorite TV shows as a kid. So going back to Karen's, 70s reference on the Operation commercial, does anybody remember the show Emergency?
Yes. Loved it.
one of the guys' names, one of the main firefighters' characters' names on the show was Johnny Gage. So I wanted to be Johnny Gage as a kid. So this program, I wish this existed back when I was younger. But anyway, that's my little aside. So, awesome.
Is it a year-long program? Do any of you guys know?
Yeah, it appears to be.
Okay.
Cool. All right. What else you got, Lisa?
Well, and then the next thing we kind of, we go into is we always hear from all of our directors, and they're on a kind of a rotational basis. So we get to hear from the Frisco Library. We hear from, Derek Cotton from, CFO from Finance, and Play Frisco, Shannon Coates, in Engineering and Public Works. So Shelley Long got to share some information about the wonderful reading program that was done over the summer. The reasons why it's done as well, it's kind of very educational. Knowing there is a summer slide between, the time that they're out of school in May and rejoin back in August. So that's one of the reasons why they have this really great program. Finance, one of the highlights that he shared was the sales tax revenues. I'm going to read this. Is up to 2% exceeding the budget flat projection for the fiscal year. So they were expecting a flat year regarding sales tax, and they exceeded it by 2%. So that's great news from the city standpoint. Shannon Coates and Play Frisco shared some information about the city has a new bird certification, and those were budgeted this year, and it's basically done by some Eagle Scouts. And you can also go look at them at the Frisco Grove. So, we're, not only that, but we're now bird certified in the city of Frisco.
Yeah, may I comment on that, Lisa? Me and you served on the Parks and Rec board together, and it is amazing how many kind of quiet or seemingly certifications that no one would know a city can get that make Frisco so much better. I mean, that bird certification means that we are unique in certain cities because of the growth we have, or because of how the birds enrich our city. So I just wanted to say that was awesome to hear that we now have that certification.
Yeah, and some of it's probably due to some of the work that was done by some other students and citizens, kind of informing and educating us in the city council about just migrating birds that go through Frisco, and doing the lights out program. So encouraging people to turn off their porch lights. So the migratory birds are going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing and not being discouraged by the city lights. Yeah, so that's another great program.
Quick shout out. Sorry, Lisa. I saw Tracy provided the link. A little comment popped up on the screen. So quick shout out to Tracy. Thank you for providing that. There it is. Oh, no, there you go. Past program, close enough to the current one. There you go. There it is.
And as always, Play Frisco has so many different events that you can participate and look at, and even the library too. So there's multiple ways to get involved, whether it's, doing crafting or doing a charcuterie board, or, being part of the successful jazz lounge, and they're doing a pollinator bio blitz. So we've got always kinds like, how have you played today? What kind of nature have you done? So it's exciting, the programming that we actually do offer in the city of Frisco through the library and also Play Frisco. So the next one is, I don't know if anybody has any comments about that one, but the next one is basically the engineering report. And everybody's like, well, that sounds exciting and fascinating information, but it is really the kind of the pulse and the infrastructure of the city. There were a lot of updates about, underground utilities being completed at the rail district. Everybody's really probably familiar with the construction that's going down there. One of the things we're really excited to see is the paving to start. They have the roads, one road open and the other they're working on, but they're going to start with the paving, the actual paving between the 1st and the 3rd Streets and 6th to North County within the next 2 weeks. So I'm excited to see that progress and what it's going to look like, and eventually even seeing the pavers that are going to start going down for the extended and longer sidewalks to make it more walkable. So it's been a painful project, but I think the end result is just going to be absolutely amazing. And then they also talked about roundabouts. So they're having a roundup on September 15th. And what is a roundabout? Something like why they're important, why they work so well, how they help with traffic, how they slow down traffic. So a lot of people kind of sometimes are not a fan of roundabouts. I happen to love a roundabout. I had a discussion with somebody yesterday about roundabouts, how geeky and weird is that, but I did have one.
So quick show of hands, because it's either a love or a hate. There's no in between when it comes to roundabouts. Quick show of hands, who loves roundabouts?
I'm good with it.
Okay, Shane's the only hater. That's okay.
Right? You just have to
So
compare.
you need to go to the class. You need to go to class and get educated, Shane.
I use them. I could use them successfully, but they just I'm good with a stoplight.
You do gotta go watch the lane next to you, because you never know what that person next to you, if they know how to use the roundabout.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
John,
That's the scary part.
and I've been the person in the other lane that people have to watch out for. So
I
absolutely,
thought I saw you.
and you probably did. Yeah, you
But it's so
probably
much
did.
easier to get through the Warren and Ohio intersection than it is to get through the Gaylord and the Ohio intersection with that four-way stop. Nobody knows when to go. And yeah.
Four-way
Well,
stops are the worst. I
The
mean,
four-way stop.
and multiple lanes. It drives me absolutely crazy. I'll take a roundabout any day of the week over a four-way stop.
No,
100%.
four-way stops give you an opportunity to check your phone.
Yeah.
And I do have this written down somewhere, but fun fact, Frisco, Texas, I believe has the second most number of roundabouts of any city in the country. Or maybe it's
In the country?
I think it's
Really?
in Texas, and it's like top 5 in the country.
Wow.
So the only one
Yeah.
who has more, I believe, is Fort Worth. So
Mm.
obviously much larger population. And then there's only maybe a handful that have more in the entire country. So, and Frisco's on pace to exceed that, right? So,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we have
So
two in my neighborhood, so yeah, I use them all the time. Small, but
Okay.
we use them all the time.
Nah.
It slows down traffic. We don't have people speeding as much because you really have to slow down.
Maybe if they put something in the center of the roundabout, I'd be better. But nah.
Like, what do you propose?
I
Shane,
don't-
what do you got?
How about a public art? How about a piece of public
There
art?
you go.
That's
That's a good answer, right?
statue of Shane Gilmore. How about that?
You know what? Hey, don't. Okay, perfect.
I can
How
always
about
hear the
this?
Frisco
How
Fire
about this?
Department going, no,
Leadership
can't do that.
Frisco class of 29, best class ever. We can put that.
There's your project.
There's your class
There's your
project
project.
right there. I'm sure you can convince the rest of the class for that.
There
All
you
right.
go, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Tracy pulled up the facts. So number 1 in Texas,
Oh.
number 7 nationally. So I was close. I figured it was. I knew the numbers were there.
I just want to say a shout out to my engineer friend Sean Merrill, who loves roundabouts. If you ever want to talk about an entire session on roundabouts, Sean Merrill is your guest, and he would fill an hour of dead air of just talking about the world of roundabouts.
I see a segment building roundabout by Sean Merrill.
Line them up.
I know traffic was and is continues to be a hot spot here in Frisco, hot topic. So we might have to get Sean on the calendar here pretty quick. All right, sorry. Let's keep us on track.
All right. So the next one, the last director report. So it's basically with Public Works, and it's done by Gabe Johnson. And he was talking about the water usage for the North Texas water year. So, I think we're always concerned about, preserving reuse of our water. And we actually had a really good year. So we were below our basically, they always project where we're going to be, and we were actually below this year. So a lot of those efforts were done because of conservation. And also, the second reason which was given out was because it was more favorable weather conditions. While it was hot in Texas, we probably didn't have the continuous heat that we had in previous years. So, but there's a really good kudos and shout out to the staff that we have and the focus of conserving water. I heard one of the city council members saying that, when he went and did his subcommittee, he learned that how well Frisco does at conserving our water, and we are kind of a role model for other cities as well. So a huge shout out that. And then just a little bit, let everybody know that the fall watering schedule is changing. Started on September 1st through October 31st. So that has changed a little bit. So for those who are watering their lawns and, knowing that, you don't need to be watering as much as you were allowed to do in summer.
Trash day only going forward until next month.
Trash day.
Hey, back to roads. I noticed that there's $300 million in the budget for roads. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because traffic has been a big thing in Frisco. That's like a big question most candidates or public officials ask. What about the traffic?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, hot button for sure. And we will dedicate one of our segments to that in the future. All right. We are up against a commercial break. Lisa, do you have anything else before we jump off?
No, I mean, I think just basically remember that, regarding the budget, there was a lot of discussion that has been going on for a very long period of time. We can share what those are in the Frisco Files so people can view it and look at it later on. The last public comment, it will be in the next meeting, which is September 16th. So you can still provide input, and talk about it. If you have any questions and you want to learn more, there's all kinds of websites. So, you can look at they have a really great YouTube video out there as well, just kind of giving a high level dive.
Awesome. Love it. Well, thank you for all that info, Lisa. And remind people how to find Frisco Files. Where is it at?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Remind the audience where they can find and become a member or a follower of Frisco Files.
Oh, we're on Facebook, so just look us up under Frisco Files, and we're always posting about community events, things going on in the city, also how you can get involved, and also what's going on with the city council.
Love it. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to jump off, do a quick commercial break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about what the heck is going on in Frisco, because there's a lot, and we've got a little bit of time, and Shane is going to lead us through that. But right now, let's jump to commercial. We'll be right back.
The Community Difference would like to thank each of the following partners for their continued support. At Fireboss Realty, we believe life is about relationships, and everything else is just details. Whether you're buying or selling, Scott and Amy Johnson are here to understand your family's unique needs and deliver expert guidance on the North Texas real estate market. With a reputation for integrity and personalized service, Fireboss Realty makes your home journey stress-free and successful. Ready to make your move? Visit firebossrealty.com and let's ignite your real estate dreams.
When your home's comfort is on the line, trust the HVAC team that puts integrity first. Danielle Cook and No Sweat experts are changing the standard for heating and cooling in North Texas. No pressure, no upselling, just honest diagnostics, expert repairs, and custom solutions that fit your home, not a sales quota. From quick fixes to full installations, they get it right the first time, clean, professional, and on your schedule. Call No Sweat experts today and take the stress out of comfort.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
We are Cloud Staff, enabling remarkable growth for businesses everywhere with our pioneering enterprise-grade remote work solutions. We are on a mission to help business owners scale while reducing costs by matching you with an amazing staff, mobilizing your team, and helping manage business performance, making us the #1 workplace as remote work gets done. Connect with us to access the world's top talent and discover how we can enable remarkable growth for your business.
And now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back. We are going to dive into the next segment, and Shane is going to lead us through that. Essentially, what we're going to talk about is what's going on around Frisco. That means small, big things, you name it. We're going to try to bring it to your attention. So with no further ado, Shane, I'm going to hand it over to you and rock and roll.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Brian. I want to go back to, I'm going to cover a couple things really quick. Ongoing, I want to mention something that Lisa talked about in the reports, which is Gabe Johnson, gave a report on services. He talked about styrofoam. He highlighted the styrofoam recycling. So Frisco has this wonderful environmental collection facility where if you don't know about it, you can go there and get rid of all of your recycling, styrofoam and cardboard. It's an excellent facility, an excellent asset to Frisco. As far as what you can do to get out and enjoy the city, John classified the best. Frisco is the ultimate sandbox where you can do stuff, anything, any flavor, and just enjoy it. Coming up on September 27th is the Shawnee Trail Cowboy Day. It is from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Heritage Center. This is an annual event organized by the Heritage Center, and it celebrates the historical component of the Shawnee Trail, the historic cattle drive, which was done with the Wild Wild West a long time ago. It also gave some living history demonstrations about what cowboys or people in the West did a long time ago. And there'll also be some live music, some stagecoach rides, some pony rides, as well as some themed photo booths. If you're not available on September 27th, certainly get out and enjoy that family friend event. Or if you don't have a family, get out and enjoy some of the old Texas history. Also on September 27th is the Creme de la Creme art reception. This is at the Frisco Discovery Center on September 27th from 6:30 to 8:30. It's a juried exhibition, so people are voting on the best piece of art. However, it's hosted by the Visual Arts Guild of Frisco, again, held at the Discovery Center. And there'll be mixed categories like painting, drawing, photography, mixed media, and sculpture. I went to this 2 years ago just to see the artists and the demonstrations and the work. Phenomenal artists right here in Frisco that are just doing in their lane, giving the best demonstration of art they can do. Had some incredible pictures from incredible places. That's the Creme de la Creme art reception on September 27th. Now, there's some ongoing art exhibits at the library. And I'm sorry, did anybody want to comment on the Shawnee Trail or the Creme de la Creme?
No, I just want to say I have actually purchased quite a few pieces of artwork since living here in Frisco. I've gotten some beautiful pieces. And definitely, they're there for purchase as well. So shout out to all of our great artists and the Visual Arts Guild of Frisco doing such a great job to highlight
Quick
them.
shout out to a past event from them just a couple weeks ago, Art in the Arena. Great job on that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So back to the public library art exhibitions. These are ongoing, and there's several going right now. One is called Voices, and it's presented by Nakesh Chawla Group, the Nakesh Chawla Group, and it's in the Grand Gallery at the Frisco Discovery Center, which is right next to the Frisco Library, if you didn't know that. So there's a great outing right there. Hit the library, walk next door, hit the Discovery Center. Two excellent pieces of facilities in Frisco that are just phenomenal. Voices is a compelling group exhibit by 9 Indian artists who have made the United States their home. Each artist brings a distinct voice through their unique visual language. There's A Color of Life, celebrates the vibrancy of florals, and there's Black Tide, which explores the depth and power of the ocean through monochromatic series. Excellent. I might even go out there. Hey, by the way, that one ends September 13th, so get out and go see it this weekend. There's another one called Shades of Her, and this is a solo exhibition about exploring the wonderful layers of motherhood through the charcoal, acrylic, and alcohol ink. Didn't know you could paint in all those, but certainly seems like it's very creative. And this exhibit will go through September 13th. Finally, there is another exhibit called the Terra Group Exhibition, again at the Frisco Discovery Center, and this is an Earth-inspired art through landscapes, botanicals, ceramics, and abstract works made from natural materials at Terra. There's some featured artists, and it will be on display until October 18th. There'll be a public reception October 4th from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Grand Gallery. So you have these exhibits going on, which are incredible. A couple more. There'll be a Purple Heart Monument unveiling on September 20th at 9 to 10:30 at the Veterans Memorial at Frisco Commons. So raise your hand if you've been to the Veterans Memorial Frisco Commons. That's right. Phenomenal location right there in the park. Woo-hoo.
Great park too.
Yeah, great park. Matter of fact, I pulled one of the biggest fish I've ever caught in Frisco out of that pond right there. Huge catfish. There's a couple other things going on. I want to you can go to the Frisco calendar and get all that information. But I would like to bring up two additional things for you to do, kind of related to Frisco. One related to Frisco you have to read about, not necessarily activity. But first, I'll mention the snow cone lady. As we all know, she is a Frisco tradition. She's a staple. This year she was supposed to start, but she experienced a medical emergency and she had to not start up. But we can certainly visit her when she gets back in action and support that Frisco staple. And lastly, I want to acknowledge that this is something you can read about. This year, Frisco's this year Times Kid of the Year is from Frisco. I don't know if you all saw this.
I did see that.
Yeah.
The Time Kid of the Year is from Frisco. Her name is Tijavaski Manjo, and she actually developed a program that protects seniors from cyber fraud. So again, related to Frisco, but you have to read about it in Time Magazine. That's all I have. Unless I'm missing something, somebody else jump in and tell me what else you got.
I've got a couple others to add to the list if you don't mind. So
we just got a couple minutes, so just keeping us on track on time. So go for it, Karen.
This Saturday, Rotary Club of Frisco has their Peace Pole Monument dedication. It's at 10 a.m. and then you can go before or after to the farmers market and get some fresh food while you're there as well. But that's going to be at Kaleidoscope Park. And there's also going to be a benefit for the Snow Cone Lady at Frisco Royal Yard on September 28th from 4 to 9 p.m. Her family has been able to open up the Snow Cone stand for business. You'll have to follow her page on Facebook to know which days she's open or the business is open. But she did suffer a stroke here recently, but is getting better, and the community wants to rally around her and support her. So that event is coming up. And then there's one more event I just wanted to talk about. It's called the Rail Connection. It's actually a group that myself and a couple others started back at the end of last year of 2024 to actually host events in downtown in the rail district to support these businesses that are going through more difficult times as construction is going on. We don't have our next event scheduled yet, but if you want to follow our group and follow the events that are coming up, it's called The Rail Connection on Facebook. And we'd love to have you join us and come to future events.
And don't forget Coffee with the Mayor tomorrow at Frisco PD. Coffee with the Mayor tomorrow, Frisco PD at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
That's right. 8 a.m.
Coffee with the Mayor.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I know there's a ton of stuff going on. And it's always hard to cram all that into a short segment. So we will have more time in the future to do that. You guys are off the hook because I was going to ask you, what are you most looking forward to as we go through this endeavor? Unfortunately, we don't have enough time to do that to hear from everybody. But what I do want to do is just highlight some of the things we are going to talk about in future episodes. Karen, you named it the Rail District, right? It's a hot topic. We're going to bring in some experts both from the city and elsewhere. But Rail District, public-private partnerships, traffic concerns, Visit Frisco, EDC, CDC, all those things we're going to talk about. So stick around with us. We're going to be on every other week. Thank you all for co-hosting with me today. I look forward to this journey, and we'll see you all.
Thank you for watching today's show.
You've been watching Frisco Files Live. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and share the show with your network. Drop a comment. We want to hear your feedback and ideas. Until next time, stay engaged and stay connected. Frisco, progress in motion.